My name is Forsman, and I'm an ACPE certified educator doing contract work. I want to talk to you about a concept called grounding. Years ago, in my first unit of CPE, I came back from a patient care case that had me kind of rattled, looking for my supervisor. And she said to me, "Well, Bonnie, how do you ground?" I looked at her blankly and she went like this. How do you ground? It's taken me several years to figure out both what she meant and how I do that work, how I ground. Because every body grounds differently. So I want to share with you some of the theoretical underpinnings of what it means to ground, what you're actually doing. In my CPE journey, I've spent the past 3 years studying the Somatic Experiencing Institute's Trauma Resolution program. It's based on the work of Dr. Peter Levine. And I think that gives a good theoretical support to what we're talking about. So I want you to think of grounding like the keel on a sailboat. The keel is a heavily weighted fin that extends from the hull, or the base of the sailboat, into the water. The water around you can get really turbulent and choppy, and the sailboat might heel, it might come up at a really sharp angle, but it's not going to capsize because that weight holds it in place, helps it right itself, and helps it to still continue to sail, even in choppy water. So that's kind of the idea of grounding. Some people think of it in yoga, there's tree pose, and you're told that when your feet are on the ground, you want to think of a root coming down from your feet, holding them in place. That's another way to think about it. Grounding is the work of stabilizing the nervous system. It's about actually helping the nervous system to feel supported. It's what allows us to feel open, connected, and have a sense of bodily goodness. When you're grounded, it doesn't really matter so much what's going on around you. You still have access to those experiences internally. So Somatic Experiencing teaches that there are 3 ways to ground. And that was really important to me to learn because the first way that they teach, is a great way, but it's not my way. But I'm going to share it with you because a lot of people really connect with this as a way to ground. So just get your feet really firmly on the ground. You can even push the heels a little bit to help your spine straighten. And see what you notice, see what you feel in your body. Some people describe a sense of energy coming up through the ground into their feet. And some people feel that sense of rootedness, really going deep down into the ground and feeling held and supported. So that may be the way you ground, and it's a wonderful way for a lot of people. The second way of grounding is called self-touch. And so sometimes you're going to see people sitting like this, and I think we've been taught to think of them as closed off. But actually, this is what they're doing, is stabilizing their nervous system. This is a really well-supported position for grounding. Self-touch can look like a variety of things. People who often are more comfortable with their legs crossed, that's a really great grounded position. Some people sit like this in a chair with their hands like this, and again, that's a stabilized position. The nervous system is feeling supported, and they might have more openness because they're sitting in those kinds of positions. There's a position in yoga, legs up the wall, in which you lie on your back with your legs literally straight up in the air or against a wall. And that's the ideal self-touch position, a really well-supported position with a lot of contact. So two ways to ground: feet flat on the ground, really, strongly connected, or self-touch. The third way of grounding actually takes you initially out of the body. And this is probably my favorite way to ground, this and self-touch. But the third one is orienting around you. So it's just looking around and finding something that your eyes want to look at. I'll tell students often to look around my office and see if there's anything they want to change or anything they want in their line of sight to support themselves. And I had a student who used to take an icon off my wall and put it right behind me against the lamp. And it was just a soft, restful place that helped her to feel stable, connected, open. These are ideal ways to allow oneself to be in that learning environment and support learning. So orienting, I mean, if you think about it from the perspective of being in the wild, it's that way of sensing there's no tigers around me right now. I am truly safe. It's a biological response. The body naturally wants to orient and find safety and a sense of goodness. So finding something beautiful in nature to look at, out an open window, this is a wonderful way of grounding. And so sometimes if a student's feeling anxious or dysregulated, is there anything around you that you want to look at right now that would help bring you some peace, some sense of being grounded in your body? So those are the 3 ways of grounding: feet on the floor, self-touch, and orienting and finding something peaceful and gentle and beautiful that you want to look at. And I hope those might be helpful for you in these crazy times that we're living in right now. So be well, be grounded, and have exquisite tenderness for this body that you live in.